So presently we can notice it's having okay. So presently if we can right click and say inspect element, now it is showing src equal to img1.jpg only. But after click on the button, now we can see src attribute has been changed as img2.jpg plus art has been changed as welcome and width became 350 pixels. So multiple attributes have been set at a time by using the attr function. The difference is if you want to set the single attribute, just attribute name comma value. In case of multiple attributes, if you want to set, we have to pass the object literal as argument. Next, also we are able to get the existing value, and also we can remove an existing attribute. So let us try to understand how to get the value of an existing attribute. For that we have to use this syntax, attr of attribute name. Suppose let's create another button, button 3, get attribute. So when the user clicks on this button 3, I am going to execute some function. So attr of the attribute name, for example src. This function now will read the existing attribute value of the my image. First, dollar of my image means it will go to the particular img tag. Attr of src means it will read the value of img1.jpg, but it will not overwrite because we have not passed any value. Alternatively, it will retrieve the same. So the retrieved value we can store in a temporary variable, something like a, and we can display the same by using the console.log statement. Now notice there, I just click on the button. Now what happened? 1 minute. Console.log of a. Okay, I just click on this arrow mark. Console.log of a. There is a spelling mistake, right? That's why it is showing error. Okay, let's try again. So I click on the button. Now it is showing the img1.jpg. The current value of src attribute has been displayed there. Okay. So if you want to get an attribute value, we have to use attr of attribute name. And in case if you want to remove the attribute, we have to use remove attr function. Let's create one more button, button number 4, that is remove attribute. So I want to remove an attribute. Then what we have to follow is that button number 4, suppose I would like to remove the alt attribute. So the function is remove attr. This statement will not add anything, but will remove the existing alt attribute. So now I just click on this button. Now check again. So check the image tag. Presently it is having alt attribute, right? Now once I click on this button, see it has removed the alt attribute there. In order to programmatically remove an attribute, we have to use remove attr function. So finally, these are the 4 syntaxes that you should remember. So to set a single attribute, attr, attribute name comma value. To set multiple attributes, attribute name and value we have to provide inside object literal. If you want to get an attribute value, we have to use attr. If you want to remove attribute, we have to use remove attr function. This is all about manipulation of attributes by using jQuery. Next topic is manipulating CSS styles using jQuery. If you want to set a CSS class or remove the CSS class, or you want to do some manipulation on the CSS styles, we have to use this topic. So setting a CSS class to the element. Assume there is an element, maybe a div tag or paragraph, whatever. If you want to set a CSS class to apply the style, we have to use add class. Here class name means it is just a CSS class. For example, class 1. We can add a class 1 to the particular div. In case if you want to get the existing value, getting a CSS class from the element. In case if you want to get it, if you want, in case if you want to remove it, removing a CSS class, then we have to use remove class. Then we also have something called setting a specific CSS property. We can also set a specific CSS property, CSS of the property name comma value. That's all. Like this we are able to add a CSS class, remove existing class, and also we can set a specific CSS property. Let's take an example on the manipulation of CSS. Manipulating CSS.html. Manipulation of CSS by using jQuery. Okay, so the topic name is manipulating CSS. So now this time we are going to take a div tag, div id equal to div1, and also we have a button that is set CSS, single CSS property. So when I click on this particular button one, what exactly I want to do is that I want to access the particular div and I want to add a CSS class called class 1. What is this class 1? We have to declare it. It is a user defined style. So dot class 1 we have to create. For example, font size 30 pixels, background color light green, next border 3 pixels solid blue, padding 20 pixels. What are the styles you wish, we have to apply. Okay, now I just go to the new program. I just click on the button. Now we can notice the style has been applied. This is add class. Now we also have the second button, that is button 2. Button 2 is this is add class, and this is going to be remove class. If you want to remove the class, what we have to use, remove class function. Button 2 is nothing but remove class function. Remove class. So now we can check add class, remove class, add class, remove class. And also we have seen the third one, set CSS style. Button 3 is nothing but set CSS style, CSS of which style you want to apply, the background color red color you want to apply. Now you can check, when I click on this button, the red color has been applied. So I will look once, add class, remove class, and also CSS. So this is all about the manipulation of CSS by using jQuery. If you want to set a CSS class to the element, we have to use add class function. If you want to remove the CSS class, we have to use remove class. If you want to set a CSS property value, we are going to use CSS function. CSS of the first argument is going to be the property name, the second argument is going to be the value. And if you want to manipulate attributes, if you want to set an attribute, attr of attribute name comma value. If you want to get it, attr of just attribute name, no need of providing value. If you want to remove it, remove attr of attribute name. If you want to set multiple attributes, set of, we have to provide the object literal, which includes a attribute colon value, again attribute colon value, and so on. And if you want to hide or show the information, we can use the effects like fade effect, slide effect, and show hide effect. This is all about the different manipulations of elements by using jQuery. Today we have understood mainly effects, manipulation of attributes, manipulation of CSS. So that's all for today, and in the next class we will meet some advanced topics. Thank you. Good afternoon, students. This is the web technologies training program, and we have been understanding the jQuery from the past few days. Exactly today we are trying to understand jQuery selectors topic. Selector is a syntax to select the elements. In the web page we may have lot of HTML tags, headings, paragraphs, tables, forms, and different types of elements. Any kind of element can be selected programmatically by using selector. The concept is, first we have to select the element, then only we have to apply some style for it, or we can do any manipulation. That means we can call any predefined function in jQuery. We have already learned several predefined functions. For example, HTML, text, append, prepend, before, after, wrap all, replace with, remove, and click, DBL click, fade out, fade in, slide up, slide down. Like this, already we have learned so many jQuery functions, and maybe in the future also we are trying to learn some more predefined functions. Any jQuery predefined function can be called only after selecting the elements. In order to select the elements, we have to use the jQuery selectors topic. Fortunately, the basic level of jQuery selectors are exactly same as the CSS selectors. For example, in the CSS we have tag selector, ID selector, compound selector, adjacent sibling selector, class selector, like this so many selectors. Same selectors as it is available in jQuery, but additionally jQuery contains some more number of selectors. So here exactly we are trying to understand the CSS selectors in jQuery, at the same time some new selectors which are newly introduced in jQuery. All the available selectors of jQuery we are trying to learn today. So let's get started. So first let us see the list of selectors available. So the first one is tag selector. It is used to select the elements based on the tag name. Whenever you have requirement to select the elements based on the tag name, we have to use the tag selector. The syntax is just a tag name we have to provide. Just a tag name. So let's take an example. First, HTML head body is the same. Topic is tag selector. Tag selector. And we have a set of paragraphs, para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just saving the file as tag selector.html. We have to save it in C drive, jQuery folder, save it. Now in order to execute it, we have to just run this program. Double click on the file to run, and there we can go to the console. There we can see the console. Programmatically I want to select all paragraphs. Then what we have to try to do is that first we have to import the jQuery library file. First, we have to import the jQuery library file, that is with the script src equal to jQuery 3.2.1.js. File name jQuery 3.3.1, sorry, 3.3.1.js. So now just I am trying to select all the p tags. We have to pass the selector inside the dollar function. Dollar is a predefined function which receives the selector and returns the corresponding matching elements. So I am just giving p, that means that I am selecting all the p tags which are inside the web page. So the system will search wherever the p tag is present, all those will be selected at a time. So after selecting all these, we are able to call any predefined function, for example .fade out, .fade in, .click. So any predefined function we are able to call. I am just saying that CSS, that means I am trying to update some CSS style. Here we have to provide the name of the property followed by the value. Which property we have to set, that property name and corresponding value. For example, I want to set a CSS property called background color. Now the value is going to be sky blue. So I am applying the background color as a sky blue for all the p tags. So have a look once. I am selecting all the p tags. So for all the p tags, I am just applying the background color as a sky blue. So this is the first selector. The second one is ID selector. It is used to select a single element based on the tag name, based on the ID name. Syntax is hash ID. Hash is the symbol of ID. Whenever you have a requirement to select the element based on the ID, we have to use the ID selector. It is mostly used to select a single element because ID cannot be same. ID cannot be duplicate. When you want to select a single element exactly, a specific element, then only we have to use the ID selector generally. For example, you want to select only this Google logo or the Google search text box, a particular single element. For that case, ID selector is suitable. I want to select the para 1. So for the para 1, first we have to provide ID equal to p1. Then we have to provide hash p1. Hash p1 selects the specific element based on ID. Now check it, I am selecting the para 1. So para 1, the para 1 can be selected. The para 1 is exactly selected based on what? ID. After selecting the para 1, then we are going to apply the background color as a sky blue. Next one, we have the third type of selector, that is the class selector. It is used to select elements based on the class name. Elements based on the class name. So dot is a symbol of class name. No symbol for tag selector. Hash is a symbol of ID selector. Dot is symbol of the class selector. If you want to select the few elements, then we have to use the class selector. For example, I am just having para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 paragraphs are present. We have 5 paragraphs available. Now I am going to select para 1, para 2 and para 5. So what we have to use, class equal to class 1. This class 1 is just user defined name. We can give any other name. But we have to apply the same class name for all the elements that we desire to select. I want to select really para 1, para 2 and 4. So in order to select a few, exactly para 1, 2, 4, a specific list of items, then we have to use the class selector. Here dot is a symbol of class selector followed by the class name. Simple. This $of dot class 1 means it is selecting all the elements that are having class equal to class 1. If it is not having class equal to class 1, it will not be selected. So as a result, finally the para 1, 2, 4 only is selected. For those elements only the background color has been set, because we have given a condition called class equal to class 1. But there is a drawback or feature in the class selector. It selects all elements irrespective of the tag name. All the elements irrespective of the tag name. So it doesn't check any tag name. It just select all the elements that are having class equal to class 1, which means that it can be p tag, it can be span tag, it can be some heading tag, whatever it is, doesn't matter. All the specific elements that are having class equal to class 1 will be selected at a time. For example, I am giving class equal to class 1 even for some span tags also. So including the span tags, it will be selected notice. The reason for that, the reason class equal to class 1 means, so the reason it is selecting only the elements based on the class name irrespective of the tag name. It is not checking any tag name. It doesn't matter whether it is a p tag or span tag or a h1 tag, anything. Only it is selecting just class equal to class 1 present or not. If class equal to class 1 is present, it is going to select those elements. That's why in our example we have selected para 1, 2, 4 and span 1, 2 only. So I want to check the tag name also along with the class name. Then we have to use the compound selector. So the fourth type of selector is a compound selector. It is used to select the elements based on the class name and tag name. Here we have to provide the tag dot class 1. It selects all the elements that are having the specific class and a specific tag. It selects all instances of the specific tag that are having the specified class. So it is selecting all instances of the particular tag. So wherever the tag is present, all of them will be selected. At the same time, the class name should be matching. So two conditions should be matching. As we are checking the two conditions, it is called compound selector because it's a combination of two selectors. It's a combination of tag selector plus class selector. It's a combined condition. That's why we have to give tag name dot class name, no space in the middle. If you give space, that meaning will be different again. But as of now, we have to just provide the tag name dot class 1, no space in the middle or no anything. So just we have to provide dot. So let's understand compound selector. Topic name is compound selector. So I am just adding p dot class 1. P dot class 1 is selecting only the p tags that are having class equal to class 1. It is not selecting the span tags, even though they contain the class equal to class 1, because the reason it is a span tag and we are looking for p tag. If you are giving span dot class 1, it is now selecting only the span tags without the p tags. So we are able to specify the two conditions at a time, that is the tag name followed by the class name both. This is what we call it as compound selector. Next we have grouping selector. It is used to select a set of specified elements. So the syntax is tag 1, comma tag 2, comma tag 3 and so on. We are able to select multiple set of elements, multiple tags based on the grouping selector. Comma is a symbol of grouping selector. Compound selector is a combination of tag selector plus class selector. No symbol for a tag selector. Hash is symbol of ID selector. Dot is symbol of class selector. Okay, comma is a symbol of grouping selector. So the understanding the grouping selector is very simple. Just take the example of grouping selector. Grouping selector. So for example, we have multiple set of elements, maybe H1, so I want to select the H1 tag, P tag and span tag at a time. Then we have to use the grouping selector. So I'm just removing the class names which you don't want here. So which means that I'm just selecting H1 suppose. Presently only H1 tags are selected, notice. But I want to select P tags also. Then we have to give comma P. That means I am selecting P tags also. Plus I want span tags also. So comma span. We can specify any number of tag names. No limit. Just for example, we have written 3 P tags, 3 tags only. We can provide any number of tag names. So this is how to use the grouping selector. The next one, child selector. Child selector. It is used to select specific children of specific parent. So inside the particular parent, particular type of children can be selected by using the child selector. Syntax is parent space child. Parent space child. I am selecting all the specific children of the particular parent. It will go to the particular parent. Inside the particular parent, the particular children will be selected. Space is a symbol of child selector here. Parent space child is a syntax. So let's understand the child selector. Child selector.html. Okay, now child selector.html we are going to create. Suppose we have a div id equal to div1. Inside the div we have a set of paragraphs. Notice there may be some other paragraphs outside the div. So I am just having the para 6 and 7 outside the div. If we are giving just a P, it is called a tag selector and it selects all instances of the particular tag, that is P tag. I want to select the P tag which is present only inside the particular hash div1. Then what to do? Hash div1 space P, which means I am selecting all the P tags which are children of the div1. First it will go to the particular div. Inside the particular div, wherever the P tag is there, only those will be selected. It is excluding the P tags that is present outside the div. That's why it is selecting only the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. But here a question is that, is it selecting the including grandchildren? Yes, it includes grandchildren. It includes grandchildren, means children of children also will be taken. Means inside the particular div1, inside some other child, some other P tag is present. Those also will be selected. For example, B. B is a child of div, right? So inside the B also we have some paragraphs, means those also being selected here. Okay, the point. Did you catch the point? It is selecting the para 6 and 7 also because these are the grandchildren of div. And child selector means including grandchildren. in the complete area of the div1, wherever the p tag is present, all those will be selected. It may be present directly in the div or maybe inside a child. All the p tags that are present inside the div1 is being selected, but not the para 8 and 9 because these are present outside the div. So now inside the div, para 6 to 7 have been present, so those only will be selected there. The next one, direct child selector. Direct child selector. It is used to select only direct children of the specific parent. It will go to the particular parent, only the direct children will be selected, but not the grandchildren. So parent greater than child is a syntax, no space. It includes grandchildren. Sorry, it excludes grandchildren. It excludes grandchildren. Child selector includes grandchildren, but direct children selector exclude the grandchildren. So check there, direct child selector. What is the symbol of direct child selector? Greater than. So in case of direct children selector, it is mostly same as child selector only, but the difference is only the grandchildren will be skipped, only the direct children will be selected. So for the div, para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the direct children, para 6 and 7 are the grandchildren. So these grandchildren will not be selected. Now that means para 6 and 7 will be skipped. Only para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be selected. Now we are going to provide greater than instead of space. Hash div1 space p, which means I am selecting only the para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but not the para 6 and 7. The reason I am selecting the p, which are direct children of the div1, not the grandchildren. So overall the difference is child selector includes the grandchildren, direct child selector exclude the grandchildren. The next one, we have adjacent sibling selector. Adjacent sibling selector. It selects all siblings, all adjacent siblings of the current element. First, the journey starts from the specific element, that is called current element. Current element tilde character, the sibling. Here the tilde character is representing the adjacent siblings. So let's understand the adjacent sibling and what does it mean. Adjacent sibling selector.html. Adjacent siblings selector.html. Here I am just selecting the para 3, and after the para 3, para 4, 5, 6, 7 are present directly inside the div. Now para 6 and 7 are the direct children of the div. Now here adjacent means what are the further next siblings. Para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these are siblings each other. Siblings means like brothers having equal level in the hierarchy. So I am selecting all the para 4, 5, 6, 7 which are siblings of the para 3 and which are adjacent to the particular para 3. I am not selecting para 1 and 2 even though those are siblings, because adjacent means only further next, not the previous. So first I am selecting P3 tilde character P. First I am pointing to the para 3. For the para 3, what are the adjacent siblings? These para 4, 5, 6, 7. Only those will be selected here. That means we are having para 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Next, and also there is a possibility of selecting only the next sibling, immediate next sibling, that is called adjacent one sibling selector. Adjacent one sibling selector. It selects the immediate next sibling of the current element. First we have to select the current element, followed by plus symbol, followed by sibling. It is selecting the next sibling, immediate next sibling of the current element. The difference between the previous one and this one is previous one is selecting all the siblings, all the adjacent siblings, and this adjacent one sibling selector is selecting only the single immediate sibling, but not all the siblings. So check it, adjacent one sibling selector .html. So adjacent one sibling selector. Adjacent one sibling selector. So I am selecting only the immediate next sibling which is immediately after the para 3. First I am selecting the hash p3, that is para 3. Immediate next paragraph means only the para 4 is being selected. Now we can notice it is selecting the immediate next, that is para 4, but not all. If you want one sibling, we have to use plus symbol. If you want all the adjacent siblings, we have to use the tilde character, where you can type it is the character is present below the escape key, below the escape key, and we have to use with the shift the key which is below the escape key on the keyboard. The next one is first selector. It selects the first element in the matching elements. So syntax is first some selector we have to give, colon first we have to add. This can be any selector, maybe tag selector, class selector, grouping selector, whatever it is. Just we have to provide colon first. Colon first we will select the first element among them. So I am having first. I am just giving the first.html. Suppose we have a div without any IDs. Just we have a div ID equal to div1, and we have 10 paragraphs, 8, 9 and 10. So I am selecting P. P means what? All the P tags will be selected at a time. But I want to select only the first one. Only the first paragraph can be selected by using colon first. See, first of all, P means all the P tags. Colon first means only the first one is being selected. Now first one, only the single first one, that is para 1 is being selected. Same like this, we also have last, first, last, only the last element. So check it, last.html we are going to create. We are going to create the last.html. So once we are providing the last, P colon last means it is selecting all the last element, last paragraph is being selected. First when you say P, it is selected all the P tags actually, but when you say colon last, among them only the last one is being selected. So only the last one, that is para 10, is being selected. Similarly, we have something called EQ. means it selects the exact element based on the index among the matching elements. So we have to provide EQ of index we have to provide. Based on the index, whenever you have a requirement to select, we have to use EQ. Check it eq.html. Whenever you have a requirement to select the element, a specific element based on the index, we have to use EQ. For example, I want to select the para 4, but it doesn't have any class name or ID name. Then what to do? We have to depend on its index. Basically, #div1 space p means it is selecting all the p tags that are present inside the div. But I want to select only the para 4. Only para 4 can be selected by giving colon EQ of some index, for example 3. Here index starts from 0. So para 3 means only the particular one, that is third one, is being selected, that is para 4. Index starts from 0, notice 0 means para 1, 1 means para 2, 2 means para 3, so 3 means para 4. Okay, so index starts from 0, always you have to remember. Next, we also have something called GT. GT select the element based on the index which are greater than the index. It selects all the elements which are having index is greater than the specified index. So it is selecting all the elements that are having a index greater than the specified index. First we are going to provide some index, for example 2, which are greater than 2, only those elements will be selected. So if you have GT, same way we have less than, that is LT. GT means greater than, LT means less than. It selects all the elements that are having index is less than the specified index. So let's understand the GT first. GT for greater than, I am going to create gt.html. So I am selecting the elements, the paragraph which are index greater than 3. Greater than 3 means what? Greater than para 4, that is para 5, 6 up to 10. Basically 3 means what? Index 3 means para 4, right? Which are greater than 3 means para 5 onwards up to 10. Same way we have something called LT. LT means less than particular element. So LT of 3 means, actually 3 index is what? Para 4. Less than 3 means para 1, 2, 3 is being selected, notice. Para 1, 2, 3. Okay, para 1, 2, 3 is being selected. Okay, so same like this. Next, we also have something called attribute selector. Attribute selector. Attribute selector selects the elements that are having a specific attributes. Select the elements that are having a specific attribute with a specified value. We have to provide the tag name within the square bracket. We have to provide attribute is equal to value. I am selecting the particular tag that are having a specific attribute equal to a specific value. So let's check it. Attribute selector.html. So the topic name is attribute selector. Now we are going to give some title attribute for each paragraph. Title equal to 1, 2, 3, any. Here title means the tooltip. When you place the mouse pointer on the specific element, the title will be displayed as a tooltip. I'm just going to provide title equal to 1, 2, 3 like this for understanding. Actual title can be anything. Okay, the basic point is that title means tooltip. So if you place the mouse pointer on the particular paragraph, the title is being displayed as a tooltip notice. So the tooltip is being displayed notice. Okay, like this. Based on the title, we are going to select the elements. So I am selecting all the p tags that are having an attribute like title is equal to 1. I am having all the elements that are having title equal to 1. Okay, for those elements, we are trying to apply the background color. Background color is equal to green. So we are applying the green color for all the elements that are having title equal to 1. So where the title is equal to 1 is present, it is present in the para 1 only. Let me have save in the para 5. So it selects para 1 and 5 at a time. Title is equal to 1. Background color green. So it is applying the green color for para 1 and 5 because those elements only having the title is equal to 1. Wherever title is equal to 1 attribute is present, those particular tags are being selected here. Okay, the next one, we also have parent. Next, these are some functions. So functions, jQuery functions to jQuery functions for traversing among the elements. Traversing means first you will be in the particular element, you will point to the particular element first, and from the based on the particular element you can navigate either forward or backward to the parent or to the children. We can travel to the specific elements. First we are going to point to the specific element based on the jQuery functions. Then you will be navigating to the parent or to the children to the next level, to the previous level, or whatever it is. So the functions available here is the first one, parent. It is used to navigate to the parent element of the current element. Here current element is very, very important. So let's understand parent function. It is not selector, it is a parent function. So we are going to create a file called parent.html. First we have to select an element based on the ID or some condition, whatever suitable. So we are having the ID equal to para 3. Okay, these IDs on other elements is not required. So right, I am just removing the unnecessary things. Okay, let's select the para 3 based on ID. So as we know already, hash p3 means it is selecting the particular para 3 only. Now I want to navigate to its parent. To navigate to its parent, we have to use .parent function. So first I am selecting the para 3 only, then we are calling a function called parent. Now this function has selected the parent element, that is the div1 itself. Now we can see the div1 got selected. Div1 got selected, you can notice. Next, we also have something called next. Next.html. Next. The element is next. The next function is used to select the next element after the particular para 3. See, for example, para 3 is already selected. What is the next one after the para 3? Para 4, right? So para 4 is being selected. First, when you say hash P3, it is selecting para 3 only. But once you call next function, it is going to the next one, that is para 4. So for the para 4, we can see the given particular style. Same like this, to select to the previous element, we have to use prev function. PREV, prev. Prev function is used to select the previous element of the current element. To select the previous element, we have to use the function called prev. See, first I am selecting the P3. So for the P3, what is the previous element after the para 3? Para 2, right? So para 2 is being selected here, dot prev. It is used to select to the previous one, that is the para 2 itself. Next, we also have something called children. Children. For example, I am selecting the div1. Div1 means what? The entire div has been selected. Notice the children will not be selected with that. Only the div1 got selected. Now I want to select the children, not the div1 itself. Then what to do? Dot children function. So first it will select the div1. Then it will select all its children, that is including para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, not only p tags. All the elements, all the children of the div1 is being selected here. For those elements, we are having the background color light green. So para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is being selected there. So let's understand this function. So what is the function we have understood previously? So parent, next, it is used to select the next element of the current element. Okay, the syntax also let's write. Syntax is dollar of current element dot parent. Here next, here prev. To select the previous element, we have to use prev function. So check it there. We have understood parent, next, prev, and children. Okay, next one, children. It is used to select all the children of the specific parent. To select all the children of the specific parent, we are going to use the children function. Syntax is dollar of current element dot children function. The next one is index. It is used to select the index of the specific element. So first we have to select the particular element, then we have to call index function. This index function will just return the index of the current element among the parent. So let's understand the index function. So index, what is the function name? Index. First I am selecting the para 3. For the para 3, we are calling its index. We are going to store its index inside a variable and display the same. So first I am selecting the para 3. First I am selecting the para 3. I am asking what is the index of the para 3. So answer is 2, right? See, 0 means para 1, 1 means para 2, 2 means para 3. So here index is written as 2. Okay. So if you want to select the index, then we have to use index function. Okay, these are the complete information about the jQuery selectors. So selector is a syntax to select. Based on various conditions, we are able to select the elements. Like for example, in front of you, 1,000 people are available. You want to call a particular person based on the either name or based on his roll number or based on his shirt color, based on some condition, we are selecting a particular element. Here also in the web page also, you may have lot of HTML tags. To select the elements based on some condition, we are going to use a particular selector. We have understood several selectors, more than 10, that is tag selector, class selector, ID selector, grouping selector, child selector, direct child selector, attribute selector, adjacent sibling selector, lot of other selectors, and we have already covered some functions of selectors, all these things. So that's all about the jQuery selectors as of today. In the next class we will meet some another topic. Thank you. Welcome to Web Technologies training program. In the today's lesson, we are going to understand jQuery UI topics. jQuery UI is a predefined library which contains predefined collection of plugins. First, we have to understand what is a plugin. Plugin means a ready-made component. For example, in the real life, for example, you require a dress, you require some mobile, you require some laptop. So instead of you manufacture yourself, you can also take some product which is made by somebody else. That means you are just purchasing the particular product which is made by somebody and you are utilizing yourself for your needs. Similarly, in your application, you require to create a suppose pop-up calendar, you require a slideshow, you require a menu, you require the tabs. Instead of you are creating all these things, you are making the ready-made plugins, means ready-made scripts, ready-made CSS styles. So such a ready-made CSS styles or ready-made scripts are called as some plugins. So jQuery UI is a collection of plugins. We are trying to use a set of plugins. This jQuery UI is developed by the jQuery Foundation who made the jQuery. Means the jQuery plus jQuery UI both have been made by the jQuery Foundation. John Rizig is the name of the team leader of jQuery team. And this jQuery UI works based on jQuery. That means while working with the jQuery UI, we have to import the predefined library file of jQuery also. In the same page, we have to import both libraries of jQuery and jQuery UI. jQuery is not a part of jQuery UI or jQuery UI is not a part of jQuery. Both are two different things, but the thing is jQuery UI works based on jQuery. If jQuery is not loaded into your library, into your web page, jQuery UI will not work. And another difference is jQuery contains only the script file, that is .js file. jQuery UI contains two files, the CSS file and the JS file. So totally jQuery JS file plus jQuery UI JS and CSS. So totally three files we have to import. One is a .js file of jQuery plus .js file of jQuery UI, .css file of jQuery UI. Totally three files we have to import in our HTML file in order to work with the jQuery UI. It contains many predefined plugins like a date picker, accordion, etc. So let me show how to work with the jQuery UI practically. First, we have to open the website jQuery.com. And meanwhile open the downloads location, go to the jQuery.com website, so once we go to jQuery.com, here we have to click on download jQuery 3.3.1. And here we have to click on download the uncompressed development jQuery 3.3.1 and we are going to save this file. We are going to download into the downloads location. The file name is jQuery-3.3.1.js. You can see such a file here, jQuery-3.3.1.js. The second file that you have is jQuery UI, also we have to download. So go to jQueryui.com. Once we click on jQueryui.com, here we have to click on download button, and select the jQuery UI version number, that is 1.12.1. Once we have selected 1.12.1, by default all the checkboxes have been selected, no need of unchecking anything. In case if you particularly don't want any of this feature, we are able to uncheck it. Generally we need not uncheck anything. Directly go to the theme selection. Theme means the predefined CSS style. We have several themes in the drop down list. I am selecting the base theme, and no need of entering anything in the CSS scope. Directly click on download button. Then you are getting a zip file basically, that is named as jQuery-ui-1.12.1.custom.zip. Right clicking on the zip file, extract here. Once we click on extract, so we are getting a folder like this, jQuery-ui-1.12.1 custom. So we have to use these particular files. Notice the files, that is jQueryui.js, jQueryui.css plus images. So we have to copy paste these specified files into your application directory. So copy these. What are the files? Images, jQuery-ui.css, jQuery-ui.js. Copy these three particular files into C:\jQuery folder. We have to paste them here. So we should have images folder, jQuery-ui.js, jQuery-ui.css. These three items we should have. Plus we have to save our HTML file in the same folder. So you have to open your Visual Studio Code window. There go to the file, new file. We are going to save it and select the location C:\jQuery, the file name date picker. First I want to demonstrate date picker. So in order to understand this, let's go to the jQueryui.com home page. First we should understand what is date picker. So first click on date picker option in this jQueryui.com website. It is demonstrating the date picker in the right hand side. So it is showing a date text box. Once we click on this, we can see the pop-up calendar. See, if you want to create this pop-up calendar manually with own code, it requires huge amount of code. You have to take a table, lot of th tags, td tags. You should write the logic for years, months and everything. So it's too difficult to create this manually. But we can make use of some ready-made CSS code, ready-made JavaScript code also. So in order to create this pop-up calendar for your text box, what you have to try to do, click on view source, and it is showing the sample program for you. You have to copy paste the lines from this. So before copying this particular code, let me create a regular HTML syntax. HTML head body, topic name is date picker, so date. We have a text box, id is equal to txt1, and then I want to introduce the date picker in this. So we have to load the essential JavaScript files and CSS files in this program. What exactly we have to try to do? we have to import the script files. Script src is equal to, what file we have to import first? First we have to import the jQuery file. But are you having jQuery file here? No. So go to your downloads location, copy the jQuery 3.3.1.js file into the current working location, that is C:/jQuery. So first we have to import this file. I told you, right, there are two scripts. One is jQuery, second one is jQuery UI. jQuery UI means jQuery UI.css, JS and images folder. Plus we are not doing anything with this images folder. These are just for icons. We have to keep those files as it is. We need not do anything extra for these images. These images are internally called in the corresponding CSS file. From our side, we have to first import jQuery JS file, and then we have to import jQuery UI JS file. So the file name is jQuery-3.3.1.js, and then we have to import the other file jQuery-ui.js. Then we have to import the CSS file also, that is jQuery-ui.css. Link href equal to jQuery-ui.css, relative equal to style sheet. Now, so just we have the text box, but there are no any changes in this as of now. But how do we add the date picker? Now it is very easy. As we have integrated this jQuery plus jQuery UI scripts in this, it is just very easy. Go to the script. Now we are able to call JavaScript by default, plus we are able to use any predefined functions of jQuery library because we have imported such a file, and also we have to use any predefined functions of jQuery UI. Three types of functions we are able to use by default in this place. But we have to access first the text box. #txt1, this will get the text box. After selecting this particular text box, we are going to apply date picker. That's all. So once we call date picker and click on the text box, now we are able to see the date picker. See, these 3 lines of code is common for every program. Only just by writing this single line of code, we have included the date picker. But if you want to create this date picker manually, hundreds of or thousands of lines of code is required to create this calendar with all the months. So all that logic we have saved. So like this, we are able to use ready-made predefined plugins by using jQuery. But this is just an example. So if you can come back, here also they are importing some predefined CSS files, predefined script files, plus they have created a text box, and they have called the date picker function as we have called. But similarly, we have some other predefined models also available. Those are here. In the most right side, we can see different models in the date picker. For example, I would like to use something like display multiple months. That means if you click on this date picker, now it is showing 2 months notice. Oops. Okay, I'm doing like this. Okay, now you are able to notice 2 months have been displayed at a time, side by side. September and October, 2 months have been displayed. So how do we display the 2 months at a time? They are providing some additional option. Number of months is equal to 3 or number of months equal to 4, any number of, that is a number of months, how many months you want to display at a time. So if you have added an object literal here and placed the option there, that is number of months equal to 2 or 3, whatever. So now in our application, now also it is displaying the 3 months. It is 3 months pop-up calendar. So July, August and September, all these are displayed like this. Of course, you can go to the next month, previous month, whatever. Okay. So we can specify the number of months. That is one demonstration done here. Like this, we have many predefined useful examples. I will show one more. For example, format date. How do we specify the format of the date? By default, it is month, date, year, but we can change it. For example, I want the date, month, year, or anything, date, month, any user defined format we are able to select here. So how do we specify that? We have to use this option, date picker of, option of date format, comma, the date format we have to provide, date, month, year, or whatever it is. So we are trying to set a date, month, year format, DDMMYV format for this text box. So I would like to copy the same thing, but in this case I am just providing option date format. Option date format, date hyphen month hyphen year. Now we can see the date, month, year format have been changed. In case if you want, if we are providing small m, it is displaying the single digit month. Okay, so this is probably accepted. In case if you want a hyphen separator, we can just provide hyphen or slash, whatever. I'm just giving slash. Now we can see, okay, so slash separator. Whatever the separator you require, you are able to provide. So you can check yourself these particular other formats. Now let me show one more other example. So we have just completed the date picker. Let me show an example of accordion. Accordion means multiple headings are there, for example multiple sections, and among few any one section is visible on the screens. For example, section 1 is open, now section 2 or section 3, any one. Among few sections you are able to select any one. Among few sections, any one section is visible there. So how do we create this? Once we click on view source, it is showing some syntax, that is we must have a div tag with some id equal to accordion and heading with the div, again heading with the div, heading with the div. These headings are displayed as the headings and the div is being displayed as the content there. Let me repeat the same content here, accordion.html. Okay, so I'm just creating accordion.html. Deleting this text box. Placing the same div. Means whatever div they are demonstrating, same div we are able to copy. Same div, complete div we are just copying and pasting here. Okay, so we have a heading with paragraph, again heading with paragraph. So have a look once clearly. First we must be having a div tag. Inside the div we have a heading, some content, again headings, again content, again heading, again content. You can repeat the same in number of times. Finally run this HTML file to run. So is it displaying like accordion? No, it is displaying like a normal headings and normal paragraphs only. What we have to try to do exactly is that we have to select that particular item, that is hash accordion dot accordion we have to call. Here accordion is a predefined function. Accordion is a predefined function. Once we call accordion function, now we are able to see that everything is converted into accordion. So section, heading, Okay, so whichever the section is clicked, only that content is visible there. In case if you want advanced options, we are able to customize something on the right side. For example, we have something called collapse content. The collapse content means if you click on this, now it is collapsible. All the sections are collapsible. In the actual example, any one section will be visible. If you click on the section again, it will not be collapsed. But now in this new example, if you click on the same heading, it will be collapsed. How do we enable this feature? So collapsible equal to true. We have to add this option. So copy this and paste here. By adding this option collapsible equal to true, now we are able to see if we click on the section again, the content is collapsible. Like this, you can find the advanced examples of accordion in the right hand side. So next example is dialogue. In this dialogue also, the best variant is model form, otherwise model confirmation. So this is the best example. So sometimes you would like to show this type of model dialog boxes where we have a title and we have some content and some buttons also. Let us see how to create these models. If you click on view source, you will have an idea. First of all, you will be creating a div tag which contain the content whichever you would like to display as a model dialog box. So let me have this div. Let me create a separate file, model.html. Okay, we are going to create model.html. I am just deleting everything. Right. So we have a model, and in this I am going to integrate this particular div tag. Right. And then we are trying to write this particular code in the script. Now let me run this. Before then that, let me okay, fine. So let me run this program. Once we double click on this model.html, now we can see the model dialog box has been displayed. So